Today we will discuss about control structure, right? So how to control our flow of program, right? So we are having two types of con control instruction. The first one is decision control instruction, and the second one is repetition control instruction. Let's discuss the first one, that is decision control instruction, right? We are having a three type of decision control instruction. The first one is if, right? And the second one is if else. And the third one is if and if else, right? So these three type of control decision control instruction we will discuss in this lecture. And after that we will move repetition control instruction. Let's try to solve an example of if control instruction, right? So here, suppose I have a two variable a and contain some integer value that is 10, right? And b also contains some integer value that is 15. The value can be anything, right? So now I want to know that which value is greater than. So I will use the if statement, right? So here you can see that if you can give a condition that can be anything. A is greater than b and colon. After this condition, put the colon sign to start the body of the body of if statement, right? So now give any message, whatever you want here. A is greater than, right? So in that way you can compare two values, right? So if a is greater than b, then it will the if block will be executed and return this statement is greater than b, right? So the value which stores in the a variable will return in place of a, and value stored in b, right, will return in place of b, right? So in that condition, if the condition is met, then it will return this statement, otherwise it will return none, right? So now here is a is greater than b, the condition becomes false, and the condition becomes false, it means then it will return nothing, right? If I store a greater number, any greater number which may be greater from b, so now it will, the condition will be met and it will return this statement, right? So now 20 is greater than 15. Is it clear? So when the condition is met, then it will return, or the true block will be executed. This is true block. This is only the if statement without else, right? So here the condition, whenever the condition met, right? So it will return this statement. Otherwise, will return nothing. Suppose if I say that A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 15, that means that this condition is false. That means this will return nothing. Okay, you can see that. Okay, is it clear or not? Is it clear or not? Or any confusing you are having?
Hello. Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so now the next syntax is what? If else. We will use if statement with else block, right? So now if I write else block, so that means I'm giving a else block when the condition is not met, then the else block will be executed. Suppose that if I say A is less than B, suppose that when the condition becomes false, then the else block will be executed in place of this block, this true block, right? When the condition becomes true, then this block will be executed. Suppose A is greater than B. Now the condition becomes false. Then in that situation, the else block will be executed and will return this statement. A is less than B. That means 2 is less than 15, right? So if I say A is equal 21, right? So that means in that condition, in that situation, else block will not be executed. Then what will be executed? The true block will be executed and it will return this statement. A is greater than B. That means 21 is greater than 50. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes. Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now the next syntax is what? If, elif, else. We will use this if, elif, else statement or syntax for multiple conditions. In that situation, we are having only one condition. That is compare with these two values. Now, when you will use this syntax whenever you are having multiple conditions. Suppose that if I say A is greater than 21, B is greater than 50, sorry, A is equal to 21, B is equal to 15, and C is equal to, well, it can be anything, suppose that 30, right? Now I want to compare the greatest value among them. Which one is greater value among them, right? So now we are having multiple conditions to apply here, right? So now if A is greater than B, then it will always return A is greater than B. Now what the next condition is, we will use L if for the multiple conditions, right? So now pass the conditions. If P is greater than, sorry, you can compare the condition in that way. A is greater than B and A is greater than C, then it should be returned the A is greater than B and C. Is it clear? If A is greater than B, then it should be greater than A greater than C. Then it will return A is greater than B and C. Now the second condition is what? B is greater than A. B is also greater than C. Now what it returns? It will return,
B is greater than B.
it will return,
Greater than A and C.
okay, B is greater than A and C. Is it clear? And the next condition is what? We don't need to compare the next condition to compare C because we have already compared two values. Then definitely the third value will be greater if these two condition is unmatched, right? So now you can print C is greater than A and B. Is it clear? Now have a look what it returns. So here is it, invalid syntax. What? Okay, so here now 30 is greater than 21 and 15, right? Now you can format these two values in that way, right? 30 is greater than 21 and 15. Suppose if I say E is equal to 200. Now 200 is greater than 15 and 30. Then the first condition will become true. So it returns this statement. And it will always return the true when all the conditions will become true. Okay, is it clear? And operator will always return true when all the condition match. When all the condition match, right? So if any one condition is unmatched, so that means that it will not return true. It will return false. Is it clear? As I have already told you in the previous lecture when we were discussing about operators. Okay. So if I say B is greater than, that B is equal to 1500. So that means B is greater than A and B is also greater than C, right? So that means the second condition is met. So it will return B. B is what? 1500 is greater than 230, right? So now you can see that. Okay. You can also take three inputs from user, right? In that way, like int, by using input function, you can take input from the user. Please enter first number, right? Copy this line of code and paste it here. And we're here. Now, okay, take input from user, right? User, suppose that user enter. Okay, sorry. So second number and third number. The first number will be stored into variable A, and second number will into B, variable B, and so on, right? So now suppose if I say 5 as my first number, right? And
Yeah.
second number 6 and third number is 7 and I don't know which one is greater amongst them, right? So
Yes.
at this, what it returns, 7 is greater than 5 and 6. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any confusion regarding this? Any confusion regarding this?
Oh.
No. So I will send a question for which you have to make a solution, right? So I will send this question onto the group, right? Note note down the question and make the solution for it, right? I'll send the question on the basis of these instruction, right? Now the second one is repetition control instruction. What is repetition control instruction? Whenever we want to execute a same task at multiple times, we will use repetition control. Whenever we want to execute the same task at multiple times, right? So suppose that if I say write a program to print the natural number up to 20, we are repeating a same task at multiple times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by increment 1, right? So what is the problem here? The problem is we are repeating the same task at multiple times. So we will use repetition control instruction. We are having two types of repetition control instruction. First one is for loop. It is also known as iteration loop. Iteration for I in and range of the loop. We will pass a range function to tell the range where to start and where to stop, right? Your loop. And now we will print the I variable. This is the variable which will receive all the values from this range function. Suppose that I uh, give the values, suppose at 0, right? So that means I'm starting this loop from 0 and the next one is 11, right? So that means this is the ending value. Remember that this value is always included value and this will be excluded. What does it mean? It means the loop will be executed up to 11 minus 1, that is 10. So that value will be excluded. Okay, so this value will be included. Now the loop will print the natural number from 0 to 10. So because your loop will be executed 11 minus 1, that is the excluded value, right? So now print the program. You will see this 0, 1, 2, 3. At the first time the value will be sent 1 into the variable I, that will be printed for the first time, and the second time the loop will be executed for the second time, right? So now the value will be 1 and so on. And after that, when the value of 10 of I variable, right? So that value will be printed and loop will be terminated. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Suppose uh, I say write a program to print table of 5, right? So you have to start your table from 1. So if I start 1 from 1, so your loop will be started from 1. So that means 1 to 10, right? And I want to print the table of 5, right? Now the number is what? Let's make this program dynamically, right? So let's take a number given by user, right? Now the number given by the user, suppose that user enter any number, right? According to that number, the table will be printed from 1 to 10, right? So now give the message, please enter a number the table, right? And now number is what? Number can be anything, and this is nothing. This is only the string, right? Which is formatted, right? And now I is the equal sign. We are just formatting and nothing else. Now after this, num multiply by I. So that will print the table of the number given by the user. Suppose that if I say 5, now see this 5, the table will be printed here, right? If I say table of 10, so that means that table will be printed. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so this is the range based loop, right? They can also known as range based loop, right? Now we are having one more iteration loop, that is while loop, right? So with a condition, suppose if I want to make a same program with while loop, just we will write this loop in that way. We have to declare the position where the loop, from where the loop will be started, right? Where to start, from where to start. This is the initial initialization of loop, right? Suppose initialization of loop, and second one is for condition, and the third one is for increment or decrement, right? So now let's make a program to print the first 10 natural numbers using by while loop. Suppose if I say I equal to 0, I have done the first point, that is initialization of variable of or variable, right? So loop will be started from 0, right? write the loop that is void with a condition, right? I is less than 10, right? Or equal to, right? Suppose that if I say I less than 10, so that means up to where the condition is met, that loop will be executed, right? When the condition is unmet or becomes false, then this loop will be terminated, right? So now to print I, and after that, this is the initialization of variable where the loop will be started from, and this is the condition which loop will have to follow, right? And this after that, the increment or decrement. I want to print the first 10 natural numbers starts from 0, right? So you have to increment the value by 1. So you can increment value in that way, right? So this is the way you can print the natural numbers, right? So look at this 0 to 9. If you, this is the first 10 natural numbers, right? 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That means 0, it starts from 0, that is 10 numbers, right? So if you want to start from 5, right, and up to 10, so you can write, you can make condition in two ways, that is you can pass 11, right? So the number will be printed according to this, or you can also pass that condition in that way, I less than is equal to 10, that the both the conditions are same, right? So it will print the same output as earlier. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay. You can also use else with these iteration loop. Suppose that I want to print a starting 5 even numbers, right? So suppose that if I start 5 even numbers, I want to print 5 even numbers. 5 even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So that means the loop will start from 0, will goes to the 10, right? Now I in range and pass only the 10. If you are passing only one value, that will be 10 value. Okay, the value from where the loop will be started by default 0, right? You don't need to pass uh, starting value if you want to start your loop from 0. Your loop will start from 0 by default. Okay, or if you want to pass, or you want to like start your loop from any other number like 1 2 3, you just need to pass here. Okay, so if you are not passing any of starting value, that will, the loop will be started from 0 by default, right? Now make the condition here if I modulus 2 is equal to 0. So that means that the value of I will be printed because this condition is for even number. So I want to just print the first 5 even numbers, right? So this, see this first 5 numbers, and you don't need to uh, print that number. It starts from 1, right? If you starts from 1, now the condition is always true, right? So see this 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These 5 starting even numbers. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Or you want to print uh, the starting 5 odd numbers? You just need to make this condition false, right? So if the I mod 2 is not equals to 0, then the value will be printed. So what will be the output? 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, right? So this, in that way you can print your odd numbers up to range given by you, right? And you can use else block with this iteration loop. Suppose uh, when this range will be completed, after this the else block will be executed. Suppose that I say
Okay.
this is else block,
Okay.
right? So what does it mean? First first 5 odd numbers will be printed, and after completing this, then this block will be executed. Now the output will be what? The first 5 odd numbers will be printed, and then this statement also will be printed, right? So you can also use as statement in while loop, right? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. So
Hello.
now, okay, I understand. Now you can also make same program with while loop. Can you please make by yourself? Can you please make this
What?
program by yourself? Yes. Okay. Send this program uh, making by while loop, right? Send onto the group, right?
Yes.
Now you can also print the table of a number given by user by using while loop. Like suppose if I start, this is my initial initialization where the loop will be started from, right?
Okay.
So suppose at 1, right? I want to start my loop from 1, and now write while loop and give the condition I is less than or equal to 10, right? Or you can pass I less than 11. Both the conditions are same, the meaning are same, right? Now print and take one number from the user, and an input is entered number figure, right? I'll pass the number here now, and my equal sign. Now num multiply by I, right?
Okay.
Now increment. The last step is what? Increment. Increment is increment or decrement. This step is very important while uh, making a program using while loop, because if you don't give any increment or decrement, right? So this loop will be executed infinite times, right? So make sure when you are making any program using while loop, you have to just pass the last third step, that is increment or decrement. So suppose that increment is what? By 1, right? So if I say if I plus 1, that means that means I is I plus 1, right? So that means if the value of I is 1, 1 plus 1, that will become 2, right? So now I execute this program. Suppose user may enter any number, any integer number, that can be anything like 30. Now see this. Here is the table, right? Using while loop. Okay, if you don't pass this statement, suppose I'm making this line of code commit, right? So now this loop will be executed infinite time with the condition unchanged, right? So always this condition, the value of I always be 1 and the condition always become true, and this loop will be executed infinite time. The answer will be like that, 15. See this, see this, right? So make sure when you are making any program using while loop, so there is the third step, which is increment or decrement, which is most important part of the loop. To stop the loop finitely, right? So here you can see that if I say 5, so here is the table of 5. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now write a program to find the first 10 even numbers using while loop. Okay, and send this program onto the group till tonight, right? Okay, send onto the group using while loop. Till that, the class timing is over. Now I end this session.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.